Welcome back to the Stan Simpson Show. Remember, you can catch my column every other Friday in the Hartford Courant and at ctnow.com. We're here now with career consulting coach John Brubaker, who now has become a regular now. You've been 2 or 3 times on the show. But you know, when we had you on last time, John, you mentioned you thought the market was starting to soften to get better. What are your thoughts now?
The most interesting thing I've heard, Stan, is going to be great news for a segment of your audience, and it was in the USA Today 2 Fridays ago, I think on the 13th. There's a boom right now in hiring for 55 to 65 nationally. The 428,000 net new jobs in the last month, in the month of January, 65% of them in the 55 to 65 age group.
What kind of jobs are we talking about?
I don't have a drill down on that, but it's also backed up by another stat they had, which I thought even as amazing. December 2007, we come out of the recession, according to the technical definition, and since that time, 55 to 65 employment has increased 3.9 million, while the country has decreased net jobs 4.2 million.
Since 2007, you're saying?
Yeah.
Wow, okay. Yeah. So what do you attribute that to? What's happening?
Well, I do think that people have put off their retirements and have realized, I've got to go out there and get it done. And older workers have a lot of value and a lot of wisdom and a lot to offer.
So is there a change now from companies valuing sort of the middle-aged and older employee before there's sort of a devaluing, getting the younger, cheaper employee? Do you think now folks are saying, no, we need some of the seasoned people? If
you look at the statistics, the real quote-unquote age discrimination is in people in their early 20s. That's where the big unemployment numbers are. The statistics for 45 and over, 55 and over are 25% better in terms of unemployment than the national average.
So you're saying stay encouraged?
Absolutely.
So now the big issue, you go through all the networking. We've talked before about the importance of networking and planting those seeds. Now the interview comes in, right? And you can be well prepared and you can do all the networking. You blow the interview and you're done, right? So there's certain things you have to do to ace the interview. Let's talk about some of those things, some of those elements. You called the first one the 4 Ps.
Proper preparation prevents poor performance.
So that's the rule. That's 5 or 4 Ps, John. That sounds like 5 Ps to me.
Yeah, it could be. But in any event,
say it again, proper
preparation prevents. It's 5.
It's 5 Ps.
Yeah,
it's 5 Ps. I don't know
why I said 4. That's what it is. That's really.
I caught you.
You did. So it's the 5 Ps, right, Stan. But in seriousness, in this age, there is a greater capability to prepare for interviews than ever before. I recently had an executive who achieved in a 6-week-long job search a 50% increase in pay and the career job of his life at age 50. And the critical moment in his interview came when he was able to convey some information that he knew about a big project the company was doing that he was going to get hired for, information that had not been released to the public or even to people within the company. And he got that because of his LinkedIn network and people that knew people that worked there and said, here's what they're going to do. And his interviewer was very, very important. He spent time. If you were going for a $50,000 a year job and you're thinking about working there for 10, it's a $500,000 interview. So you spend the time, LinkedIn, Google. I have a Microsoft person that told me that when he goes in to do a presentation with a big company, he has read the annual report of the last 3 years, underline it, come up with talking points. Now you can go on LinkedIn, you can find about the person that you're going to interview with, and you should know those things. So proper preparation.
That's important too, right? Having known the person or having some background, if they like golf, they like pets, you have a little icebreaker. Important to have the icebreaker, not on your points here, but having that icebreaker when you go to an interview, very important. You don't want to just go in there and talk business right away, correct?
I had someone the other day called me up and said, didn't your brother-in-law go to Staples High School? I said, yeah, why? He said, I'm interviewing with somebody who went to Staples High School, and I have it on LinkedIn, so, yeah.
So we have to do homework on who's interviewing you and, of course, your company. Be prepared, and prepare yourself, obviously, is very important. So second one now, on your bullet points here, interview yourself for at least an hour. That's a long time to spend talking to yourself, John.
I was, if you could have had a camera on me 20 minutes ago, I was walking up and down your corridors out loud rehearsing some of the things that we were going to say. Now, I didn't memorize anything.
We have cameras in here.
You have cameras. I hope you did. But you, in all seriousness, I had a guy call me several years ago, and he had a phone interview. And it was a huge, huge interview. They said, we're going to give you 20 minutes. And he felt it was the maximum moment of his career. And he said, what would you do? He said, I'm so nervous. I had about 3 or 4 hours to go. I said, what I would do is I would walk around and I would ask myself out loud 2 questions. Why are you interested in the job? Why would we be interested in hiring you? And I would ask it more and tougher and harder, and I would answer it and ask it and answer it, and you get your voice warmed up, you get the emotion in there. And he got on that phone call for 20 minutes, and it turned out to be an hour and three-quarter phone call, and he ended up actually getting a job that was above the job that he was interviewing for. So
it's like being an actor, right? You're doing the rehearsal, then when it's showtime, you feel like you're going to have your A game.
If it's a $500,000 job, it's worth doing these things.
Right.
And you feel you get your game together, you get your mindset together, and you can listen to what you say, and you can hear how it sounds, and you can just get a tighter story, plug some of the holes in your story, and it really increases. It's the single best piece of advice I would give.
Interview yourself again, talking out loud, asking yourself questions, then answering your own questions.
Yep.
But do it in a private place, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
All right, the other tip you have here, Brubaker's tips. You are the solution. Anticipate obvious questions.
The most important mindset that you have is not that you're out there selling something, trudging along with a little sample case with your resume in it, who wants to buy. What you are is you are the solution to the company's problems. And that's why the research ties in. You Google, you find out what's going on in the company, you find out what's going on, again, LinkedIn, you see what's going on in the departments of the company, and you come up with talking points in terms of how you can help the company, whether it's cut costs, increase revenue, and examples. And you take a solution-focused approach to it.
Be the job. We have about 30 seconds left. Be the job, you're saying, right?
Exactly right.
Real quick now. Well, what about this now? That trick question. You said be prepared for the obvious questions. What about those trick questions? If you were a dog, what kind of dog you'd be? What books are you reading? What's a trick question that you need to be prepared for in about 15 seconds?
My sister is the publisher of the Hartford Business Journal, Gail Liebert. She was asked, if you were an animal, what kind would you be and why? She had fun with the question. She wasn't thrown by it.
Right.
She enjoyed it. They're looking at your demeanor more than they are looking for an answer.
All right, we have another 10 seconds. I added 10 more on. Close on character. Why is character so? How do you close on character?
Close on character by sharing with the person your strong interest in the job and an example of why you're tenacious, why you're a hard worker, why you own the job, because more than anything else, the interviewer is insecure and he or she wants to bring someone in that doesn't just look good now, but 3 months from now when the pressure hits, they're there.
Integrity counts. All right. Thanks to all our guests, Timothy Gifford, Donna Bott, Sarah Reed, John Brubaker. Don't forget, catch our show 24/7, ctnow.com/Stan. Friend us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. For the good folks here at Fox Connecticut, I'm Stan Simpson. The Morning News is next.